Actualmente lo que estamos viendo ahora mismo es la casa de la Virgen María. So this is a house of Virgin Mary, and so I'm gonna be going in very shortly. There's a huge crowd in here, a lot of people from all over the world to come and see this, and this is located in Kusadasi, Ephesus. So we actually came on a cruise ship, and so this is an excursion, and so we're learning more about Virgin Mary places, you know, so let's consider that this is just the proof that she was here, and that's her house, and what is left in here is the ruin of her house.
Sıradaydık çok önce, kadın yürüyemediği için arkada kaldı. Ne oldu?
Excuse me?
Sorry, ready?
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying to follow that guide right there.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
No problem.
Thank you. Excuse me? Thank you.
Come on, we keep walking along. Where are you walking?
We're gonna go up.
So, realmente como voy a entrar a la casa de la Virgen María aquí en Ephesus, en Kusadasi, Turquía. Yo no sé, de las vacaciones que tomé, pues decidí venir a visitar. Sí, como pueden ver, la parte de atrás de la casa de la Virgen María, pues prácticamente era una casa pequeña, relativamente pequeña, con un solo cuarto, y pues tenía otras cosas adentro, pero muy sencilla. Y pues esta casa realmente es patrocinada por el Vaticano. So, realmente ellos mantienen todo este edificio. Es un edificio sumamente pequeño. Y realmente aquí viene gente de toda parte del mundo, sin importar la fe, la religión. Y pues adentro del edificio, pues por supuesto tiene mucha seguridad. No se permiten fotografías adentro, no se permiten videos. Las personas pueden entrar, no tienen que pagar realmente. Y esto está localizado en la ciudad de Kusadasi, o sea, en la ciudad de Kusadasi, pero en Éfeso, que es donde se considera que vivió la Virgen María. Y pues a la persona vienen aquí. Cuando uno entra dentro de la casa, que yo acabé de entrar, pasé por ahí, pues por supuesto tiene mucha seguridad y tienen algunos pequeños candles. Y esos candles, pues la persona, si pueden donar 10 Turkish lira, lo pueden comprar una velita bien finita. Vamos a ver si pueden ver ahí cómo la persona están prendiendo su velita. Y lo que hacen es que piden un deseo. Y de acuerdo a la creencia, pues el deseo que la persona pida, pues se le va a cumplir. Lo cual me pareció muy, muy interesante. Y pues la fe, dicen muchas personas, la fe la que salva, ¿ves? Entonces, pues realmente me di cuenta que qué interesante todo esto, ¿ves? Y pues voy a seguir compartiendo con ustedes. Manténganse en tune. Y este viaje que yo he hecho, pues yo no me esperaba que iba a visitar la casa de la Virgen María. Por eso es que yo digo que cada cosa que aparece en el camino, tenemos que estar dispuestos para disfrutarlo, porque es esto primera vez en mi vida que yo lo veo y nunca pensé, jamás imaginé que iba a venir a visitar la casa de la Virgen María. Y yo entendí que iba a tener un tour realmente panorámico de la ciudad de Kusadasi, pero no sabía que iba a venir a Estambul. Tampoco sabía que iba a pasar por Izmir, que está también localizado acá. Y pues por supuesto, pues yo estoy muy contenta, estoy muy agradecida de Dios por todo esto, por este gran privilegio. Manténgase tuned. Y pues si le gusta toda la información que está viendo, por favor regáleme un like, suscríbase a mi canal y pues manténgase ahí, que hay mucho más.
안녕 보려고 근데 왜 기다리는지.
de las personas que vienen en esta pared que ustedes están viendo ahora. Ahí están escritos muchos de los deseos de las personas que vienen aquí a visitar, escriben lo que desean y pues ahí lo ponen, you know, so.
Huge area was burned down. We were just waiting and praying for the fire. Thank God it didn't reach out the house of Virgin Mary. And everybody said that this must be a miracle because it was a very windy day. So it was a big surprise for us. And now you can see on the left hand side, ladies and gentlemen,
Ahora
you can
estamos
see
dejando
that
realmente la casa
and
de la
see
Virgen
the
María.
beach and the valley
Seguimos a través
once
del tour,
totally
los ha
was
conocido
under
más
the water.
acerca de la ciudad.
So about Ephesus, ladies and gentlemen, there are some research. Today there were some researches have happened around the Church of St. John, where the castle is. You're gonna see that castle. And during the excavation of it, they found some potteries almost dated back to 3000 before Christ. So there were indigenous people of the land living here, whom were called as Lelex and Carians and Pelasgians. So till the 12th century before Christ, I'm talking about 1200, and at that time, you see, there were ancient Greeks. They had their city-states like Athens, Sparta, Mora Island. There was not an actual Greece at that time. It was like city-state. So those coming from North Macedonia, they invaded Athens, Spartans, Mora Island. So they drove off the inhabitants, they forced them to migrate. So those first ancient Greeks whom arrived here were called as Ionian Greeks, whom actually established 12 major cities, and Ephesus was also the capital city of Ionians. Of course, when they came here, they met the indigenous people of the land, and they had their bloody wars, battles, and after that, whoever left from those battles, they united people and they created their own culture. With the coming of these Ionian Greeks, we call that era as Ionic era, or archaic period of the city. When these ancient Greeks came here, they met the indigenous people of the land. They learned that those people were worshipping to mother goddess of the land, who was called as Kibele or Cybele. So there was a cult, obviously, and then they brought their own deities. They blended the old one with the new ones, and after that they created their temple, which is dedicated to Artemis of Ephesus. And as you know, she is the goddess of wild nature, and she was helping to childbirth to those mothers. So that temple during its history several times was damaged and renovated. Each time people of Ephesus, Ephesians, they planned to have a bigger and better one. So the last one was burnt down in the year 356, which is the date of Alexander the Great was born in Macedonia. So people were perplexed. Actually, they started questioning their deity, and they were saying, "Oh God, such a goddess couldn't protect her own house. How come, or her own temple? How come she's going to protect ours?" And of course, there was answer given to them right away, and they said she was busy. She was in Macedonia. She was helping the mother of Alexander the Great. So she was busy. That's why it was. They say it was the night that, by coincidence, when Alexander the Great was born in Macedonia. So people were, of course, says, that is understandable. So they continued worshiping to their goddess. But you see, the temple of Artemis was not only a kind of place for worshiping. It was like Bank of Asia, ladies and gentlemen, because those people at that time, those paganist people, they were having their pilgrimages So they are during their holidays probably, they were just trusting all their goods, valuable objects to that temple. So with a minimum wage, they were those priests of temple of Artemis. They were of course keeping them safe. And also you see these people were the paganist people, they were worshipping Mother Olympian god and goddesses. Like Zeus was their god of gods, Zeus. And during the Roman time, it became Jupiter. In Romans, they changed the name of all those mythological god and goddesses. They didn't change the story, mythology of them, but they changed their names. So Artemis became Diana, for example, or Hermes, the messenger god of Zeus, became Jupiter, Mercury, sorry, and Bacchus, actually, Dionysos or Dionysos, god of wines, as you know, god of theaters, so which is my favorite ones, and he became Bacchus. Duralım, evet, oradan gördüklerini anlatacağım. So then after Ionian Greeks and till to the mid-6th century, ladies and gentlemen, city was ruled by the tyrants, different nationalities. They tried to get to control of the city. The location of the city where the temple of Artemis was, I mean, not here. This is considered to be the third location of the city. Now you can see some fragments, some ruins of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, especially on the slope of the hill, you can see there's a structure. It looks like as if it's a theater, but it wasn't a theater. It was the parliament or the senate house of the city. From here you can see it. Can everybody see that? So it used to be covered with wooden roof, and it had double functioning use. First, it was used as senate house. Second, as a concert hall. So again, in this part of the city, most of the administrative buildings are located. Before that parliament of the city, you can see the walls of a gymnasium. There was a Roman bath. Gymnasiums were Roman schools, ladies and gentlemen. 7 to 15 years old boys were educated in those schools. Their subject, what they taught those children in those days, most of the same thing: mathematics, geography, history, such. And rhetoric was the main thing. Rhetoric, is the art of speaking. So it was very important for them. They produced lots of good orators. So it didn't matter what kind of subjects they were talking about, how they can be persuasive on the subject was the main matter. So because of that also, I can tell you that St. Paul was, as a citizen of the Roman Empire, and also he was the member of a very wealthy family. They were tent makers. And as you remember, when he was a Jew family. It was a Jew family, and he was a Jew, and he was the one actually hunting down all those Christians at that time. And he was very well educated. He was a very good orator. And it is said that on the way to Damascus, Jesus Christ appeared to him saying that, Saul, Saul, why on earth are you torturing my people? And after that, actually, he converted into Christianity. He became Christian. And then after he spread the words of Jesus Christ to the world from this land. And probably he was educated in one of those gymnasiums. As a word, gymnasium, did you know that the ethnicity of that word comes from Greek, ancient Greek, and it stands for naked exercise.
Oh wow!
Gymnasium. And they had small rooms or such. But during the Roman time, the Romans, they improved it. It became kind of complex building. They had Roman baths in it, palestra for body training, as you know, halls, the school classrooms for the kids. So it was kind of complex building during Roman time. So what else you can see from here?
Wow,
Next to the
amazing.
Odeon, ladies and gentlemen,
So very
there is another
protected,
complex building which is called Britannian.
memory
It
in
was
this country.
City Hall. It was
protegida. Estamos mirando ahí
it
la
was the
estatua de
building
la
where they
Virgen
had their
María.
archives. They had a temple for Hestia, and the priest of Hestia kept alive that burning fire 24 hours and 7 days. 7 days. So it's like that fire actually, which they brought it from Olympian mountains. It was kind of the symbol of all those families, each homes in the city. So they had an imperial cult, and you see, they were worshipping
So,
the
una de las
Olympian
cosas que
gods
yo
and
aprendí
also
aquí
the
es, por
imperial cults
ejemplo,
that had. So
los
they were
perros, los
sacrificing
gatos
lots of
no tienen
animals
casa.
in
La
order to
gente
get
tiene que
favors
tratarlo
of
bien,
those
todo el mundo le echa comida,
god and
así
goddesses.
por el estilo.
And
Eso fue
what
algo
happened next? I mean, they,
súper
of course, they
interesante. Si uno
sacrificed
allá
them
está
after
viendo un
the
gato
meat
y
of
unos
those
perros
animals
también,
were,
y la gente no puede
were
venir a
sold
hacer daño a
in
los
the
animales, porque
marketplaces,
si
and
no va a
money
tener
went into
problemas
the
con
treasury of
los
the
residentes
empire.
locales.
I can tell you that still, it's like good business is good business all the time. I mean, so same thing now it's happening in our time too. So after Persians, actually mid-6th century, Persians, they took the control of the land. And then till the 4th century before Christ, Alexander the Great conquered all this land. It means with the coming of the Alexander the Great, Hellenistic era started in this region till to the Roman Empire. 2nd century before Christ, Romans, they took the control of the land till, as you remember, till the 7th or 8th century AD or after Christ. People were living here, and as you remember, before we were coming here, I just tried to give the information how they abandoned their city, because of many reasons. So everything went under the ground, ladies and gentlemen, during the time. And till to the Ottoman Empire in 1869, Ottoman Empire ordered a new railroad to a British company. When they came here during the construction of it, one of the head of the architects actually, and who was also an archaeologist, he started digging out the site in 1869. So his aim was to find the temple of Artemis, and then said 10 years later he found it. And again, so far, 18 to 20% of the city has been excavated. There are so many things still under the ground. And gidelim. Because you see, the archaeologists nowadays, they just focus on the most important things, because they see what is under the dirt. If it's a valuable thing, they just keep continue digging it up. If it's not, they just bury them again, because it is the best way to protect them from weather conditions. And this city, 2nd century after Christ, it was the highest time it reached after its heydays. So they could afford to use all kind of marble slabs. They covered their streets, decorated with marble statues. Marble was very easy to find at that time. Surrounding hills, there are many marble quarries. So currently, 42% of the marble quarries in the world are here in Turkey.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of a cheap material for us. Now from here you can see some part of the city. Just the beginning of it. So marble, when exposed to the weather condition, ladies and gentlemen, rain has some acids in it. During the time, marble can turn into dark color, so it looks like as if it's a stone, but it is not. In the side, there are some marble blocks like almost 2,000 years old. Mosaic sidewalks, almost 2,000 years old. So we can say that it was very well decorated city during its time, especially 2nd century after Christ. The population of the city was about 250,000, ladies and gentlemen. So there is only one place which was covered by a kind of Teflon textile product, this kind of roof on the top of one block, which is the residential area. And underneath that roof there are 6 houses, 6 villas. For the excavation of that one block, we spent $1 million. But for the protection of that one block, we spent $11 million. And we purchased it from Ohio, from the United States. So I always say, we supported your economy, now it is your time to support ours. So having this turn, for example, you just started to supporting our country. So see, we didn't receive enough rain last winter. I don't know what happened in your countries, but it was very mild and it didn't rain. So we have some water problems right now we are facing with in Kusadasi especially. Because the total population of Kusadasi is about 120,000, but during summertime it's reaching up almost 1 million. This year, we just at the beginning of June, we had our one of our religious festive. It's a holiday. It was 9 days holiday. We are sacrificing animals, you know. It was crazy. I can tell you that. There were the number for the population of Kusadasi is about 2 million. They say almost 2 million during that time. It's crazy. So those streets, there was a traffic jam all the time. So it's time to go to see that village. And it's in our tour program probably. Today is Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. So probably there will be lots of Turkish groups visiting that village. So it means that it's gonna be packed. So what we are gonna do is I'll take you to the restaurant which used to be the school of the village, and from there you will have a chance to see the whole village. So in the village there are some up and downs. I mean going downhill, uphill. It's not so easy. Those who like to see the village, I'll take you to the first square of the village. So then after I'll give you some free time. So Şirince used to be a Greek Orthodox village. The majority of the population was Greek Orthodox, of course, under the rule of Ottoman Empire. They were, you see, Greeks, Armenians, Jewish people, they lived all together almost 600 years under the rule of Ottoman Empire, under the rule of Ottomans, let's say. So till to 1980s, before that actually, 1918. We had first Gallipoli War. You know it very well, Gallipoli War. Did you have any relatives who fought in the Gallipoli War?
In Gallipoli. Did you
In
have any
Gallipoli?
relatives? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
And what happened? Did they lose their lives? Some of my relatives, yes. No, yes. From your family, relatives? No, okay. So you see, it was our defending moment at that time. British, Anzacs, New Zealander, Australians, and French, Italians, and what else? Did I say Greeks also? They all attacked Turkey. They occupied Istanbul first. And then after, of course, our nationalists get together, and then after they created a kind of army, and they started fighting back to those allies. So we had our battle, sea battle. It was a sea battle in Dardanelles. It took place in 1918. It took 1 year, and lots of people lost their lives from both sides, not only from Turkish people, but also Anzacs. You lost lots of people there, fortunately. On the left-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, from time to time you will have a chance to see the ruins of the defensive wall of the Church of St. John I'm talking about. Right next to it, you're going to see the castle. It's a Byzantine castle from 13th century. You'll see the fortresses of its own, which was used during the Ottoman time. That's why inside of the castle There is a mosque with a minaret. Next to it there is another structure which was actually it was a chapel, and later on it converted into a water cistern. It was used as a water cistern. You'll see it again. On the way back, actually, from Şirince, from the road, you're going to see the whole castle. Artemis.